Hey folks, welcome to What's New, the Peter Larman Outdoors radio show. I'm your host, Peter Larman, and thank you for tuning in to us today. Have we got a show for you guys today? You know what? I know normally I start off every show and we talk about what's going on in the industry today, or what's going on as far as fishing season and stuff goes. But you know what? Today I want to get right into it. Today on the show I have a company. It's a gentleman that I met back at ICAST in Orlando back in July. They ended up winning Best in Show for terminal tackle. And you know what? When I first saw the product, it took me a while to get it. But once I got it, and then I got to speak with Vince, the CEO of the company, and we talked about more about it. It makes so much sense. And we've been trying to get Vince on the show for quite a while now, and we finally got Vince to step away for a few minutes to talk to us about this great product. And the product I'm talking about is Trapper hooks, and today we're talking with Vince Hurtado, who's the CEO of the company, and Vince is going to tell us all about this fantastic product, award-winning product that they got from ICAST. However, before we bring Vince on the show, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right after this. You're listening to What's New, the Peter Larman Outdoors radio show on WRVO Radio Network 1.
Right now, watch thousands of the best outdoor TV shows with My Outdoor TV.
This should be good.
The new app from Outdoor Channel and Sportsman Channel.
That's what we've been looking for.
Stream or download from the largest library of hunting, fishing, and shooting sports content you can't get anywhere else.
Y'all want more? I'm going to give you more.
Get some!
Thousands of episodes, all at your fingertips. Get your first month free at myoutdoortv.com/Canada.
Using promo code PLO Radio. Pro-J Fishing Tackle, Scarborough, Ontario, is Canada's #1 mega bass dealer. Pro-J Fishing Tackle carries all the latest and hard-to-find tackle from some of the best manufacturers in the business. Companies like Megabass, Duo Realis, Lew's, Shimano, Daiwa, just to name a few. Jasper and his staff at Pro-J Fishing Tackle were there with expert advice, so give them a call at 416-913-8305. Pro-J Fishing Tackle is your one stop before going out to catch that trophy of a lifetime. Pro-J Fishing Tackle, 416-913-8305. Hey folks, welcome back. Today on the show, as I mentioned earlier, I'm super excited to have a gentleman that I met back in July over at ICAST for Trapper hooks, who ended up winning Best in Show for terminal tackle. And Vince Hurtado, the CEO, is joining us on the show today. Vince, welcome to the show.
Welcome, Peter. Thank you for having me.
Vince, first of all, congratulations. I know we're into December now, and ICAST was in July, but congratulations on that, on the Best of Show award. Well deserved, a phenomenal product, and you know what? Who better to tell us about it than yourself? So go ahead and tell us about Trapper hooks.
Well, first off, let me just clear one. Well, I want to thank you very much for allowing me to have the opportunity to come out here and speak with you and the folks out there listening. But I want to clear one thing up real quick. I'm not quite the CEO, but I was brought in by the CEO, who is George Catuno. And I was brought in more of an R&D type of guy because of my resume. In the past, in 2006, I fished the Bassmaster Elite series, and then have always been involved in development, as far as product development, I should say. So he sought me out, but we do work very, very close. But I don't want to steal any of his thunder by all means. But getting back to the hook itself. So many of us, we're so used to seeing a hook. When we say a hook, we think of, a standard J-bend type of hook. It's got a light, nice, long neck, and it goes into a kind of like a half U, if you would. And the method behind it, or the madness behind it, I would say, was developed by a gentleman by the name of Larry Davidson. Larry Davidson is actually George Catuno, who is our CEO, his uncle. Larry was an avid bass fisherman, or is, and he was just adamant about finding a hook that could actually fit baits better and hold fish on a bit, let's just say more, so to speak. I don't want to say better, but more. Mm-hmm. We always lose these fish, when they're hooked up. And this is a guy that just had a passion for fishing and wanted to change it. Well, he decided to put a 90-degree bend in a round hook. And then he decided to put another 90-degree bend in a round hook. And so essentially what he did was he just took the traditional hook that's been around for 40,000 years and put a square insert almost at the bottom of it. So what happens now is you've got 3 90s within the hook itself that creates a pinching sensation. So where your normal hook would pierce a hook or pierce the fish, and when the fish moves, you get that canter. It moves up and down, and I think everyone understands that. Well, that's why the barb was there, because it kind of moves forward and backwards. Well, with Trapper, the design was purposely done to eliminate the canter, and with that, you have a mechanism or a better mousetrap, so to speak, where the back 90 of the box is actually pushing forward the skin or the jaw or a bone of the fish to where there's no cantering motion with the hook. So what does that mean? It means your fish is going to stay on longer. And the other side of that is that it allows you to fish your baits a little bit more presentable, because when you choose the right bait with the right hook that we have, because of the 90 in the box or the box design, it sits right in the box. So there's no more making those long casts and seeing your bait flop, off to the side or up the shank or down into the little the J-styled hook. It actually stays in place. So that was pretty much the concept behind the hook in itself. When they came to me and said, "Hey, what do you think?" I kind of did a double take, to be honest with you, and I had to fish it because the engineering and the thought process was all there. But let's be honest, guys. We seeing is believing, and that's what we did. I basically logged almost, I want to say between 600 and 800. I don't know what the exact count is, but somewhere between 600 and 800 fish on film. And out of that number, there was a very, very low percentage. I mean, less than 4%, where that fish actually came off. And, actively trying to allow the fish to jump off the hook. Slack line, pulling, just kind of maneuvering the fish back and forth, and they stayed on. And we knew we definitely had something there, and we basically just we extended the line of hooks to just 5 models. We have our drop shot hook, which was our best in show. It's our award-winning hook that seems to be just embraced by everyone. And then we included a light wire series, like an EWG style. Mm-hmm. And then we also have a extra heavy EWG style. And then we have 2 other models. One is what's called our heavy cover hook, which is an EWG, but it's got a longer neck towards the eye, and the offset is just a bit bigger. So it's probably one of my favorite hooks. It works really well with topwater applications such as toads and flukes. And then we have a 30-degree swimming jig type of a hook where, you take your normal molds and you can start pouring your favorite head onto them, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits type of jig heads. And that actually has an oversized box, and it's proved to be very, very successful with the hookup ratio. We're excited, Peter, to be honest with you. We are so excited about how well it's been received. And my phone's been, bugging off the hook. I'm not going to lie to you. There has been OEMs, potential customers now. There are manufacturers that want to place, some of our hooks in their baits, and they want to create baits specifically for our hooks and whatnot. So we're just taking one step at a time and trying not to grow too fast. But we have been received extremely well, and I don't know what else to say, but we're just very, very pleased and excited about next year at ICAST. Or I should say this coming year, the next coming months.
Tell you're excited about it, and it's a really cool product. Again, you and I spoke at ICAST. I got to see it. I can't wait for them to come out, and we'll get into that later on in the show, and to use them and to try them and whatever. But let's go back a bit, if you will. First of all, I apologize for the title error, but now that we've got that cleared up. You'd mentioned that, you talked about the styles of hook that you have, and when you and I spoke, we really talked about, and again, because I'm up in Canada and in Ontario, and we do a lot of smallmouth fishing, it's the finesse hook that really enticed me. The drop shot hook really enticed me, and especially when you said that. And let's go back a little bit, if you don't mind, when we talk about the drop shot hook, and you mentioned the box at the bottom of the hook. Yeah, now the coolest thing that what I really found fascinating with it, and no pun intended, hooked on it, was the fact that now I don't have to worry about my bait always being horizontal. It has no choice because it's in that box. When I have my drop shot hook tied onto my line properly, it eliminates that, as you call it, the canter back and forth. So that's the most exciting part, and that was what really enticed me into the product. And the second thing that's really cool, and I think we need to reiterate that, and as you mentioned, between 600 and 800 fish caught, and you're purposely trying to lose them. And if you're losing, 5% of that, that's incredible. I mean, you could take that, you go out and catch yourself in a season 500, 600, 800 fish. You're going to lose probably that many anyway, and you're not trying to lose them with the traditional hook. Whereas here you are, as you're field testing these products, you're purposely, as you mentioned, slack line, reeling it back and forth. Like, you're purposely trying to lose it, and you can't.
Yeah.
That's...
And you know what? It comes down to a couple things. And, one thing I didn't touch on that I plan on telling you guys as well, because, the hooks were designed not to just have a box at the bottom. Everything on the hook, and each hook has its function, okay? So without getting too techy with everything, let's just talk simply about the point. We use a piercing point, okay? So what that means is we are not using a cutting edge type of point where it's serrated. Some other manufacturers like to use a point that has actually blades, that kind of come off. Well, the reason why we chose not to use that, I should say, is because the fact that when a serrated type of metal goes into something, it creates a slice. So what happens with a slice is, as you have force against it, it rips. So you create a larger hole.
Right.
So what we've done is we've created a hook point that is actually round. So when you go through it, it's round. So there's no ripping, there's no laceration to stretch out and to rip open a larger hole. So that in itself allows the barb to effectively be used, because now it's not going to have a larger hole for that hook to slip out of. Understand?
Yep.
And then with each hook, especially the drop shot hook, if you look at it close to where the eye sits in according to where our trapper box is, it actually has a greater bite than almost all the other types of hooks out on the market right now. It's specifically designed that when you get a bite, you just reel in. And especially being where you are, you don't want to sit there and start, hook setting on slack line.
No.
Otherwise, it's just not good form.
That's right.
You just want to start reeling. And the design was based primarily on technique. You get a bite, start reeling.
Yep.
You put in the pressure, and you're going to find that the point does the work, and the box basically maintains the fish onto the hook itself. And again, our other designs with the other hooks are actually designed differently as well, to function differently because of the offset in the neck or the eye and the position of it. So everything has its place within our hooks. I think that's the best part about it. And a lot of the technical anglers really, really understand that. I had a long conversation with Rick Clunn over at ICAST, and he was just blown away. He was very excited about it. Mm-hmm. And he's just one of many, many anglers that are really waiting to kind of see the product come out on the market, and so they can use it for themselves.
Well, again, I'm no Rick Clunn, but I can't wait to see them. Again, like I said, when I was talking with you at ICAST, we really talked about the drop shot and the offset wide gap and the eye and where it was set to the box and that, and it made so much sense to me then. So I'm really stoked about trying to get those out. We got to take a quick commercial break here, Vince, but when we come back, when can our listeners and when can consumers, can they get these products? We'll take a quick commercial break, and you can tell us that when we come back, all right?
All right.
All right. Folks, you're listening to What's New, the Peter Larman Outdoors radio show on WRVO Radio Network 1.
Right now, watch thousands of the best outdoor TV shows with My Outdoor TV.
This should be good.
The new app from Outdoor Channel, Sportsman Channel, and World Fishing Network.
That's what we've been looking for.
Stream or download from the largest library of hunting, fishing, and shooting sports content you can't get anywhere else.
Y'all want more? I'm gonna give you more.
Get some!
Thousands of episodes, all at your fingertips. Sign up at myoutdoortv.com.
Using promo code PLO Radio.
Livingston Lures. Livingston Lures is committed to bringing fishermen everywhere innovative, technologically advanced lures designed to flat-out catch fish in fresh and salt water. With an exciting new line of crankbaits, lipless crankbaits, topwater baits, jerk baits, and wake baits, featuring a unique sound and vibration technology. Livingston Lures is set to make some real noise across the fishing industry. Hey folks, welcome back. If you're just tuning into us today, you're missing a phenomenal show. You're gonna want to catch us again or go back and download this once we make it available. We're talking with Vince Hurtado, who is the R&D consultant. Help me out here, Vince. The former Bass Anglers Elite Series angler, R&D development.
You know what I am? I'm basically a face of Trapper Tackle for now. That just has been involved in a lot of the development process of the hook itself. So I'm no one special, but I definitely understand the product and I use it wholeheartedly. How about that?
Well, you know what? That's good for us. That's good for us. We were talking to we're talking with Vince Hurtado, who knows trapper hooks, and we were talking before the break about the different models that they have, the different hooks and the applications. And we really were stoked about the drop shot hook, and that was the hook that they ended up winning Best of Show at ICAST with for terminal tackle. Vince, before the break, we talked about, you talked about Rick Clun's excited to see these products and get his hands on these products, and so were a couple of other pros that we talked about off air and before the show. When can our listeners and when can consumers expect to see these on store shelves?
Well, the wait is over. Peter, the wait is over as we speak. They're en route. Look for them at your favorite e-tailer or retail stores. We have, right now the entire sales channel is set up between here and Canada. So, anywhere that you like to buy your products from, if they don't have it, which it'll be really, really rare, ask them. Because we're set up to basically serve everyone at this point. So we're very, very pleased and excited to say that it's now. The time is now. You can go onto our website. We're redoing one of the pages, but you can input your zip code or where you're located, and it should be able to tell you exactly where. But if not, your favorite local e-tailer or retailers should have them. Perfect.
I don't know who's more excited, Vince, you or me, or you or myself. It's really cool, folks. I can't urge you enough. If you got to go check these out. Go check them out. Vince, your website again?
You got trappertackle.com. You can go ahead and you can go to Facebook also. If you have different questions, you can go to my Facebook at Vince Hurtado. Or if you, I've got a personal website. If you need to contact me for any type of questions, I have no problem answering at vincehurtado.com. But we're all over social media, whether it's Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere right now. We are just everywhere. So reach out to us. There's a ton of videos coming out, and you can see them on our website as well. But like I said, we're very, very accessible, and I can't stress enough that if we don't get to you right away, we will get to you. We promise.
Well, the other thing I can do too, folks, is if you guys have any questions, can't find where to get that information, you can always look at our Facebook page. You can fire me off an email at peterlarman.com, and I'll make sure that I get it to Vince one way or another, and we can help you guys bridge that gap and get as much information to the consumers out there for you guys. You're going to want to check these hooks out and really take a look at it. I'll be honest with you, and I said this to Vince back at ICAST in July. I said, when I first looked at it, I thought it was another gimmicky thing. I thought it was just, but then when I got to talking to Vince, and Vince talked about it at the first part of the show when he was talking about, where the hook is and where the eye is and the shank and the shaft and where the box is and how it's lined up. And again, we were specifically talking about the drop shot hook. It makes so much sense, and it really does. And like most fishing things, you always have to have an open mind. That's one thing that I've learned from talking to a lot of the pros that fish both FLW and the Elite Series. You have to have an open mind when you get into this, and if you have an open mind and you take a look at the product, check out what Vince is talking about. Trap hooks on Facebook, on their trappertackle.com, and really look at this product and with an open mind and take a look at it. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. And like I said, I'm really excited to try them. When they come out, I'm going to be getting some as soon as the ice gets thick enough to go out there. We're going to head out there for sure and try them. And we'll put them to the test. I'm not skeptical about them at all. Really looking forward to it. So, Vince, that's really cool for you guys. I know this has been a long journey and a process to get this all set up. And you know what? Kudos to you and the rest of your team and the company. You did it the right way. In my opinion, right? You waited, you had all your ducks lined up, and then you're letting everybody get it, not just certain individuals in certain regions and certain parts of North America or wherever that you're selling this. So that's really cool, and I think that speaks volumes for the type of company that Trapper Tackle is.
Oh, absolutely. You heard me make the comment that we're going to love everyone. We don't want to taint the market at all. We don't want to show any favoritism. We want everyone to be able to get our product with whoever they want to get it through. And that's really, really important. And as we move forward into 2017, it's going to be even more important because of the exciting things coming down the pipe. This year has been great, but next year I can't tell you what's coming. I'm going to tell you what.
I was just going to ask you that. I was just going to say, what can you tell us? What little tidbit can you tell us? That's because you and I talked before we got on the air. We talked about how it's going to be pretty hard to top last year's or this year's ICAST, and you said wait till 2017. Is there any tidbit you can throw us that we can look forward to from Trapper Tackle for 2017?
Well, all I'll say is it will be 3 times as better. I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough. I'm not going to say what I think.
Not 4 times, not 2 times, just 3 times as better.
Okay, I'm not going to.
That.
I have an idea of what it is. I'm not going to say it. Hopefully, we meet again at ICAST in Orlando and in 2017, and I can see if I was right. I'll tell you off the air what I think it is, and then you don't have to tell me then. But then we'll see. You'll know if I'm right when we get to Orlando. Vince, you know what? Congratulations again. And really, in all honesty, thank you very much for taking the time. Again, like you said, it's been a whirlwind for you guys since you started this, and especially since ICAST. And so thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to us today. And I'm looking forward to seeing those products, and really looking forward to seeing what's coming up for you guys in 2017.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. I'm always excited to come on your show. And hey, next time if you want, I'll bring Larry Davidson with me, and we can do a joint little interview, and he can give you straight from the horse's mouth how he kind of bumped his head, and he came up with this idea, and it just stuck.
You know what? That sounds like a great idea. Let's plan that, and we'll get that going soon, and kind of keep this whole momentum train rolling with that, and we'll have him on the show as well.
Great.
Cool.
Hey, thanks again for having me.
Right on. Thanks, Vince. Folks, this episode was brought to you by Pro J Fishing Tackle of Scarborough, Ontario, Lou's building innovative products that are faster, lighter, and stronger, George's Marine and Sports making fun of reality, Livingston Lures, the difference is clear, Mercury Marine, #1 in the water, and Nitro Boats, driven to be the best, it's our passion. Folks, remember what I always say, take a kid fishing, but they are the future of our sport, and practice catch and release. And remember, work hard, but fish harder. I'm your host, Peter Larmond, and Lord willing, you will tune in to us next week as we bring you what's new. Thanks for listening.